The Avs are just 6-10 all-time in Game 7s. The Nuggets 4-4 and even 500. James Harden, he's been electric so far in this series, and last night he scored 18 points in the first half, just on fire from three. Here he is against Jokic, creating some space.
The game ended over an hour ago, but the energy and even the confetti is still here on the floor, even though the nets have already been cut down.
But you can still see plenty of people out here enjoying the day. He says Lakers in 6. We'll see about that. Travis and Shedeur are, of course, grabbing all the headlines, but there's 15 Colorado Buffs who are eligible to be drafted this year. The coveted bronze boot is here. These two teams have been battling it out for that boot for the past few decades, and they've been battling each other for over a century. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Let's go Denver.
The Ottawa Owls with the double O for the number of wins and points they've managed to score the last 2 weeks. They travel to Howard, who's coming off an OT loss to Hickson. Ottawa with a field goal in the third quarter as soon as we arrived. That was basically the only scoring. Makes a man miss, takes it to the house over 60 yards. That's going to be a quick touchdown right there for Tyner. He looks like Marshawn Lynch out there, bowling over defenders. Get him his Skittles sponsorship. Next Blue Raiders drive, Drew Lambert says, "Get off me, boy." He plows in for another touchdown. Baylor not winning a game against McCallie since 2015, 6 in a row for the Blue Tornadoes. Would tonight be the night that all of that changes? Well, not if McCallie's Terrio Price had anything to say about it. It was a big first half for him. Price being too much for them right now. Look at that LaDainian Tomlinson impression right there, going airborne into the end zone. Now under a minute and a half to go in the half, Price would score his third touchdown of the game, leveling the Baylor defender. Baylor wanting to answer here in the third. Whit Muschamp to Jack Shutters. Here we go. Baylor whipping it down the sideline. Whit Muschamp. Amari Jefferson breaking free, taking it to the house. 65 big ones.
Coolest photo, action shot.
Fighter, trailblazer, and champ.
I'm just so excited to meet her.
You could call her any of these names, but the fans know her best as Rocky.
I've been a really long fan ever since The Ultimate Fighter.
In January, after a long career of ups and downs, Raquel Rocky Pennington finally took home the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship. She came home to a hero's welcome.
Whatever you want.
And is now spending some time with her beloved fans.
Here I am with
What's
Rocky and Tiny Tornado.
How are you?
Rocky and her wife, fellow UFC fighter Tisha Tiny Tornado Torres, signed gear at Mike's Stadium Sports Card on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
They're the first fighters to do so at the Aurora Card Shop.
Thank you guys so much.
It's one of many firsts Rocky can claim.
I remember when I first started this sport, there wasn't that many women in it.
In 2013, she was one of the first 10 women signed to the UFC.
I was like, I'm gonna be one of the first women to the UFC. Oh man, people laughed in my face and they're like, that is not even possible. How's that gonna happen? I was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out.
A decade later, she's the first UFC female champion from Colorado.
I've always been the underdog, and you know, I just keep climbing, keep going, and now I'm here.
Raquel's embraced being a role model for girls across Colorado, but these days, she has another role to fill.
It was my first fight with being a mom, so having my daughter there, like, I don't know, it was so special.
Raquel and Tisha welcomed their first child, Alea, last year.
I'm a mom, she's the world champion, that's inspiring too, so having both those things like behind me and within my heart.
And while Rocky isn't quite ready to leave the gloves behind,
Who do you want to fight next?
Juliana Pena.
she's ready to embrace the simpler titles in life of wife and mother.
I get to show her how to be brave, strong, courageous, and then support her in whatever sets her heart on fire.
So face off with her?
Yeah.
For Denver7, I'm Sam Peña.
Let's go!
Many of these young fans have never seen a Tennessee victory over Bama.
Bama ain't got nothing!
Those that do view it as a distant memory.
Remember the last time we beat Alabama and there aren't many of us left.
New memories for a new era. The first drive and the first touchdown of the day. Tennessee got a quick 7-0 lead, answered by Bama and Georgia local Jahmyr Gibbs. But Tennessee responded with Jalen Hyatt. Remember that name, you'll hear it a few times today. Tennessee dominated early with Hyatt scoring 2 touchdowns and the Vols holding a 28-20 lead at half. But that's when the game became one for the history books. Second half, Jalen Hyatt hit the hat trick. His third touchdown of the game, 78 big ones. Back and forth we go. Bama, touchdown. Then another for Hyatt. Madness in Knoxville. 2 turnovers by Tennessee, nearly making Hooker and Hyatt's heroics end in heartbreak. But heroes make memories. Hendon Hooker finds Hyatt for the 5th and final time, tying the game at 49. Bama with the chance to win it with the field goal. Just wide, and the Vols are in field goal range. 2 seconds left. Chase McGrath steps up for the biggest kick of his life, and memories in the mayhem.
This is a great one. It's special. Obviously the opponent, the way it transpired, back and forth, and then guys resetting and finishing it the right way.
Once again, Tennessee fans stormed the field celebrating the victory, even taking down both of the goalposts. In the end, it was a celebration of good times and some cigar lighting in Rocky Top.
We're going to headbutt him right in the chest.
When you add CSU and Wyoming.
Yeah, we hate them.
we don't like Wyoming. We want to win today.
I grew up in Laramie and I still hate them.
You get the best thing in all of college football.
I think we're absolutely stomping these fools.
This is the 3rd longest running rivalry in the United States.
Some nice, tender beef.
Oh, big rivalry. The crowd really gets into it, gets real loud.
125 years and 116 games, a monster rivalry. What was the first border war game that you went to?
Probably like 93.
Since we went to CSU back in the 80s, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
The most memorable was one up in Laramie, and it was so freaking cold you couldn't even hardly move.
It was back in the 80s. It was up there in Laramie. We went up there. It was colder than heck.
The recent years, though, haven't been kind to CSU. You know, Wyoming's taken 7 of the last 8. How does that make you feel?
Not worried at all. No. Not worried at all. No.
7 out of 8 to Wyoming.
Thanks for reminding us.
And some pranks from Wyoming, well, they struck a nerve.
University of Wyoming came down and painted UW everywhere on our campus.
You know, last year UW, they painted their logo all across the CSU campus. How does that make you feel?
They're going to eat it. Disrespected and frankly dishonest.
We don't like them. We don't like it. We don't like seeing their logo. We don't like seeing them down here.
But despite the recent losses, CSU's confidence is sky high.
35-10 CSU Rams.
Ooh, it's going to be I'll give them 45-7.
32-24.
I'm going to give them a 42-7. I'll give them a touchdown. We'll let them have one.
Actually, let me change my score. 60-0.
And their eyes are on the prize.
We want the bronze boot trophy.
We need to bring that boot back home.
That boot is coming home, all right? They ran it all the way from Wyoming. It's coming home. It's coming home!